Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday. Woohoo! Last day of the month, May 31st. And today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, MSTY, SMCY, PLTY, this one, that one, the other one, maybe all of them, right? We'll just go through it, see how some of these companies have done, and then go from there, right? Obviously, we'll focus on the main ones, and then we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna cover the usual funds, the usual suspects, and also I will skim through some the other funds, the other covered call ETFs to see how they did, to see if they won their trades for the week, or at least on the Friday. All right, because as you know, Friday is when the expiration date is for options, for all the options plays. So typically a lot of the funds do close out most of their trades on the Friday. So it's easy to see and just do it on the Saturday morning video to go through and see how they did as well. All right, so anyway, as usual, let's cover MSTY. MSTY's first. They're special. They're spoiled. They're spoiled brats here. Because we talk about them first all the time. So how you doing, MSTY? Well, buy, call, sell, put. Buy, call, sell, put. And then what happened after that? I mean, again, it's a lot of action here. But what you need to know is the pink by the close. All right. So basically, they closed out the rest of their calls that expired on Friday, May 30th. And then they rolled those suckers in to new strike prices, new positions, new expiration date for next week. So the question is, did we make it out alive? Did we make bank, brah? And the answer is, oh yeah. So we did really, really good yesterday. And I'm not going to show you on this sheet. I'm going to show you on the main sheet because, again, we do cover MSTY in a different fashion than these other funds because we cover in much more detail. We just can't do the others like this because we don't have all day, right? We don't have hours and hours of videos, to watch. Someday, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, all right, so let's go through this, all right? I will try to make minimal weird noises, minimal songs, but I can't, no promises though, no promises. All right, so yesterday was May 30th. And as mentioned, they did add some contracts to the synthetic position. They added it to the 390, that's the tab I'm on. So you can see how much they paid for the buy, call, sell, put, which, is what it is. And then that added to the total number of contracts here, 97,715 on the 390. MSTR is still priced 5.37% below the strike price of this synthetic, which expires in 21 days. All right. So that's the update on the 390 synthetic. 420 synthetic is just sitting there. They're not really adding to it. They're not closing it. They're just leaving it alone. And you know what they're doing? They let it be. All right. And again, that expires the same time, 21 days away. So anyway, let's get to the weeklies tab. This is where all the magic happens. Let's see if I updated this sheet properly because I know I made some screw-ups that I caught this morning, but hey, it is what it is. All right, MSTR yesterday, they went down 0.42%. So to be honest, perfect, right? Just chill kind of day. MSTY, they went down as well, but they went down more. What's up with that? Right? It went down 0.51%. To be honest, I don't know why. Sometimes that does happen. It's on occasion, but most cases, on a down day like that, the ETF does beat the underlying. But should we give it a break? It's 0.09%. And whatever, bro. We'll leave you alone. Anyway, the IV did change from 64% to 58.9% yesterday. And then this morning it's showing 58.13%. So unfortunately, the implied volatility, the 30-day implied volatility is still dropping. It's very unfortunate. But again, we can't be worried about that too much. I know we're crying about it a lot. and it does affect our premium. It does affect a lot of things, and it affects the way we trade, but whatever, man. We can't do anything about it, so whatever. All right. Anyway, back to the trades. How did we do? We did fantastic. All right, that's the bottom line. So I'll go through, I guess I'll go through them. So at the top, 2,500 contracts. They paid what, 8 cents to close, 8 cents to close, 10 cents to close, 10. So I'll just go through a bunch of these trades, and you can see they made a profit 1.2 mil. They made a profit of a mil, 2.4 mil, 2.4, 2.3, 2.4, 1.1. Now, again, like, that's the total profit that they made on these trades. These are options trades. So what is the point of this fund? The point of this fund is to mimic the movement of the underlying. That's done through the synthetic, right? The synthetic does its thing, whatever. Now the weeklies, obviously that's what we root for. We want to make maximum profit. Now, look at this trade, for example, right? They sold a call when? On May 23rd with an expiration date of May 30th, right? They got a credit of $4.55 per share. When all said and done, they only had to pay 8 cents per share. So look, they got a credit of 1.1 million when they opened the call credit. See it? The call debit, the price to pay to close was only 21,000. So they made 1.1 million. So this is why we pay them, right? This is why we pay them. They can't control the movement. They can't control the result. But in the end, sometimes it does work out. And, you know, yesterday, this week, and prior week, actually, you know, things have been in their favor. The timing has been working out. Because MSTR has been kind of moving, you know, kind of sideways, to be honest. And it's been working pretty good. All right, so here's some more trades. Should have blew my nose. Oh my God. But how's this doing? So we got a 405. Everything is, you know, kind of in the same strike price range. 405, another 405, a 410. That's a loud car. A 405, a 410, a 410, 405. You know, you get the gist. MSTR closed at what? 369. Well below all of these strike prices. So you can see they paid 8 cents, 8 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents, 5 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents, 13 cents, 16 cents, 8 cents. You know, you get the gist, right? And you could see how much profit did they make per trade. I'll go down the line. 270,000, 2.2 mil, 2 mil, 1.7 mil, 2 mil, 439,000, 486,000, 339,000, 531,000, 459,000, 470,000. This one I'll show you. This is I believe a 6/6 expiration, and then they made 271,000, and I believe that was the last one. So the bottom line is they won their trades, all of their freaking trades, every single trade, because yeah, at the expense of the synthetic kind of taking a little, you know, it's not really making bank, bro, the synthetic. But the weeklies, the weekly trades, they're making income, all right? As MSTR trades flat, moves down a little, whatever the hell it's doing, we're making options premium on the weeklies. So it's pretty good stuff. You know, obviously all of that income adds up and goes to the payment detail, which I'll show you at the end. But yeah, here's the 6/6. This is the, you know, for next week. That was like, you know, something they sold in between. And then everything else, you know, these were previously opened and those were previously opened. And then there's so many trades, guys. There's so many trades. I don't even double check my data anymore. I can't do it. Look how many freaking lines there are, guys. This is nuts. This is seriously out of control. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to annoy your ass. I'm going to pause this video and say, if you enjoy this content, we're getting 1,000 likes today, sucker. We are getting 1,000 likes. That's our number, Saturday number. Every Saturday, 1,000 freaking likes. So if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. All right, I'll move on. All right, so, you know, all these trades, there's so many. We're going to go through the details on the holdings. We can't go through it on here. You know, we used to, but way back in the day. But the coverage to go on, you know, through the trades on this tab, no, not happening. All right, so I mean, are they enough out of the money? No, because their IV is horrible. So they can't go that far out of the money. In fact, they're not even doing butt buddies. They're not even doing credit call spreads. They're not doing insurance because they don't have any money because the premium sucks on that IV for MSTR, of course. You know, for normal stocks, it's still awesome, but you know, judging from what we're used to with 100 implied volatility or 80% implied volatility, you know, this 50% crap is crap. It's crap. You know, and we're just not used to it, and we're, you know, it's tough, and we'll go through those in a second. All right. Anyway, what was the increase in outstanding shares? 1.9 mil. That's a 1% increase. That's pretty good. Let's make sure our payment data. Yep. See, every time they make an overall profit, you know, that's filling in here, and then that's filling in on the payment tab. And by the way, yesterday, that was the last day for the payment cycle. That was the last day for the 8-week cycle. So whatever it is, right? This is it. It's over. You know, it's over. Whatever we get paid, it's going to be based on this closeout, whatever, you know, the 4 weeks was, and we'll see. Again, we'll have the guesstimate, not this video, but on the Sunday morning, which is tomorrow. All right, MSTY ETF price is $21.55. MSTR price is currently $369.06. 30-day IV is 58.13%. Outstanding shares 192 million. Total net income during this 8-week cycle, again, this is the final number, $87,737,553. Again, that's a great comeback. Remember the first 1 or 2 weeks when they opened, it was rough. We were like, ow! All right. Total distro based on that, it's 46 cents. Not bad. Total daily income, 3 cents. Daily yield, 0.12%. And if you annualize that sucker, 45%. Okay. Are we supposed to be happy about that? I guess. I mean, I don't know. All right, so we'll take a pause here and we'll go through the MSTR, you know, the other suckers, right? The other funds, how the other degenerates, these other crazy ass companies coming out with MSTR funds, right? So how are they doing? Well, let's try to get a zoom in here because it looks kind of small. We got to zoom in. How's that? There, I guess that's good. MSTR, again, they went down 0.42% yesterday. MSTY, they went down 0.51%. Winter, there you go, Winter. That's how you do it. They went up 0.53%. Noise. IMST, they went down only 0.28%. Good job, IMST. Should we call them IMST? All right, anyway, MST, or MIST, they went down 0.28%. Is that a tie? No, because Google knows it goes out all the decimals needed, and the winner is IMST for the, just for the day change, because that's what we do. We track the day change, and we see who does the best. And obviously, I have the payout schedule on the top. Misty pays monthly, Winter pays monthly, IMST pays monthly, and MST pays weekly. And I know, Winter and freaking Misty, technically it's every 13 weeks, but seriously, enough of that. Anyway, let's go. Reaction. Champ is here. The champ is here. That's Ali, baby. The champ is here. I know. John Cena says that. But remember Ali used to say that, didn't he? The champ is here. Anyway, I thought that was fitting that we had a good week. So let's get pumped about it. I hit the garage door. Hopefully that didn't vibrate through the house. But anyway, the champ is here. So good job, guys. Good job, Misty holders. Good job, YieldMax. Good job. Actually, it's SNY. Good job, SNY. That's what we call him now. That's his nickname. Scotty Too Hottie. Not Scotty Too Hottie. It's SNY. Good job, SNY. Anyway, for real, it was a good week. Now, next week, it's going to be another story, man. It's going to be Capity-doo-dah, right? We get any type of good news, any type of volatility, spike-a-rooney, and we go up and down. If we go up, man, we can't go up much, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. All right, let's go to the payment details. this is what we care about, right? We're getting paid next week. What are we getting paid? I don't know. Ask yourself that. But I could tell you synthetic income, what I calculated somehow, and hopefully I'm right, is 161 million, all right? Weekly income, 87 million, okay. Total net income, 249 million. What does that come to per share? $1.30. Okay. So that's the number. That's the total income, right? That's greater than the weeklies. So I'm kind of going to ignore the weeklies. I'm just going to look at the total income per share. Is that what we're getting paid? I don't know. What does the IV show? If we go to the IV is 58%. The IV shows a payment of 96 cents. So as we stand right now, I would guess the low to be 96 cents and the high to be $1.30. That is my current guesstimate. I will give an exact guesstimate tomorrow morning. I don't know what it is. Again, I work on that this afternoon. When there's time, when baseball's over, although it may rain again, somebody may get rained out, who the hell knows. But I'm supposed to be mowing the lawn too. I'm never getting that done. But anyway, I don't know. It's going to be in that range. It's definitely, I feel like it's going to be in between that range for sure. It's not going to be more than 130. It's not going to be less than 96. That's how I feel. I don't know how you guys feel about it. But anyway, let's move on. So here's what we wanted to talk about before. So if you look, let me zoom in. And I make this, people watch this video on the big screen. I love that. I love hearing that. Good thing I don't put my ugly mug on half the time. Then it's like, oh my goodness. But anyway, let's see. MSTR price is currently 369.06. All right, that was the close price on Friday. These are all the trades for next week, right? When I say for next week, that means they expire next week. Everything has a June 6th expiration. Yeah, we're going to be in June already. Do you believe this? So, how are they doing? Are we good? Are we good, bruh? Well, our lowest strike price is 380. That's 2.96% out of the money. Wow. That's not MSTR-ish, right? That is like AMSI-ish, right? That is like, some of these lower IV-ishes. But again, you see the IV shrinking. This is kind of what we're going to be dealt with, right? They don't even have, like I said, the butt buddies. They don't have the insurance plays. They don't have the buy calls. They don't have the credit call spreads, right? There's no green here because if they had to spend additional money to buy them, we would be even closer to the money. We would be even tighter. So again, we're going to get, unless the IV comes up before, big bull run, I don't know. It could be ugly next week. I really hope not. But the lowest strike is 380. The highest strike is 400. 400 is 8.38% out of the money. So, for example, if MSTR goes up 10, well, not even 10, let's say 15% next week, we're just going to say that's going to suck, right? That's going to suck. So we'll see what happens Monday. Let's not jump ahead. Again, we got today to worry about. We got to celebrate today first, and then we'll worry about next week. And we can cry then if we want to. I'll cry if I want to. Anyway, the value of the MSTY fund is 4.1 bill. The NAV is 21.54. The trade price 21.55. Synthetic is worth. All right, no need to talk about that. Synthetic contract total 112,415. Total contracts traded 112,415. All right. So what does that mean? That means nothing. That means they're just trading. They're selling calls on every freaking, synthetic position. So that's good, right? That's good to go. All right, so that's the MSTY holding. What about IMST? They are a competitor after all, right? Here we go. What are they doing? Let's see. Well, they're selling calls. Their calls expire various times. And they have synthetic position. And the orange is synthetic, all right? So they have 1,411 contracts on one synthetic, 365, and then 176 on a 375 synthetic. So now they're selling calls. The ones that expire on 6/6, they are 7 and 9% out of the money, but those were previously created, right? Probably when the IV was higher, so that's good. And then June 13th closures, they got a 385 and a 390, 4 and 5% out of the money. And then they have a June 20th, to June 20th, a 405 and a 410. So they are actually set up for more upside. Even though, again, theirs expire more weeks out, though. So that's why they're able to go up higher, which could screw them or could benefit. I don't know. We'll see. Again, they don't trade weekly. They trade weekly and 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. They just do different things, which, again, it's good. It's good to have different options. It's good to have different strategies. And, we'll track them day by day to see which funds, at least price-wise, are performing better, right? And then here's the other one, MST, which is a little different because, again, they have leverage, right? They have 2x leverage on at least half of the fund, approximately. And they also sell calls on about half the fund. So, again, we'll, they do that through the freaking swaps. And then you see them buying calls. So we'll ignore all that. They actually only sold one stake and strike price at 382.50. It's 3.64% out of the money. What is that? That's tie. But again, the IV is not there. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's going to be an interesting week next week. I mean, I don't know. Is Bitcoin going to move? They got this Bitcoin conference. I only know because I see Twitter feed. All these people that I follow on Twitter, they're all at the conference. Like, do these people work? How do they get to go to these things? I always wonder that. Like, everyone goes to these conferences, these various crypto conferences. It's during the week they're there and I'm like, what? I don't know. I guess that I'm the only sucker still working, I guess. But maybe, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, and they have the Bitcoin conference. Is that going to be bullish for Bitcoin, MSTR? I don't freaking know. All right, so we did get a question. All right, and they did ask the question appropriately. So shout out to Parabolic Nurse, aka TNA. All right, so I will read this question and then give my thoughts. All right, so again, when I say if you want a question, post it on the video, please write video question. All right. So they did write that video question from Liz Cross channel, which is another channel. I believe it's called Psychic Liz something, or maybe just Psychic Liz. I don't know. Shout out to them. So it says, using ChatGPT prompt asked, how does YieldMax stop the NAV erosion? Oh, everyone's favorite word, the NAV erosion. The answer back from ChatGPT was that YieldMax should put a small percentage of the earnings back into the fund to help stop the NAV erosion. Please, would you ask Rod, that's me, what he thinks about this, and has Jay tried this, please? Okay, all right. That word, NAV erosion. I know a lot of people, the haters of, I'm not saying, Liz Cross channel are haters, because they're certainly not haters. But people typically use this NAV erosion in a negative tone as a negative sentiment of these funds. So I figured, let me pull up a definition. I just Googled, what is the hell does NAV erosion mean anyway? NAV erosion in the context of investments, specifically the ETFs, refers to a decline in the net asset value over time. Okay, so it's a decline in price, particularly when the fund distributes a portion of its assets as income to investors. This happens because the distributions reduce the overall value of the fund's assets. Okay, so we all kind of knew that. So back to the question, right? Stop NAV erosion. So, I mean, listen, the way it's going to work is these funds, they move up and down. And why do they move up and down? Because the underlying moves up and down. And then during that process, of course, they could make money trading options, right? Now, if things go their way and they make money trading options, they'll pay out a portion, if not all of that, right? Making it a wash. But if there's times where the fund is losing more money, than gaining money, or more money than they're paying out, then yeah, they could be paying out more than essentially what they made, if that makes sense. So, for example, Misty, right? We saw Misty. It's a fund that basically this NAV erosion word, it doesn't exist on MSTY, right? You can think it does. If you bought it at 40, sure, you probably think it does, right? But basically, you have to look at these. What is the synthetic? The synthetic watches, the mimics the movement of the underlying. If the underlying goes down, the ETF will go down because the synthetic mimics the movement. So yes, it could lose value for that reason. We don't look at MSTR and we say, when it goes down, we say, oh my God, look at MSTR. That has NAV erosion. Or look at Tesla. Nobody says that. Or nobody even looks at SCHD and says, look at SCHD, the NAV erosion, right? Because, even though SCHD, they own the funds directly, when those funds go down, the ETF goes down, right? But, people are saying these funds have NAV erosion, right? Because, why? Because they're going down. Now, why are they going down? Again, various reasons, but the main reason is because of the underlying. So, another point to make, these are income funds. If you don't want to see your NAV go down, then go into less aggressive income funds. I mean, that's the bottom line. Again, it's just a visual, right? So you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, these funds, they're going to pay out the IV. So if they don't make the IV, it doesn't matter. They'll pay out the IV. So you got to think of it that way. There's going to be good months. There's going to be bad months. Now, a lot of people, they don't give a damn. They're in this for the income. But a lot of people, they don't care about the income as much. They care about looking at, their share price and making sure that's, obtainable. So one way to do that is buy into a less risky fund. Another way to do that is make sure the dollar cost average all the time and keep your cost basis pretty. Or another way to do that is close the damn laptop and stop looking at it. I don't know. But again, I wouldn't use that. I don't use that term NAV erosion. You almost never hear me saying it. But it just means it's going down, right? Why is it going down? Well, again, we know how these funds work. We cover these day in and day out. So hopefully that helps you guys understand these funds. But yeah, sometimes they make money, sometimes they don't, right? If they pay out more than they make, okay, yeah, that's what. But it's an income fund. If you don't want to get paid, then don't buy the income fund. I guess that's my point. And I hope that answer helped to Parabolic Nurse and the Liz Cross channel. If not, please feel free to send a follow-up. All right, sorry for that long extended answer. And I didn't know where I was going to go with that, but that's where I went. And hopefully that helped. All right, let's finish these other suckers. All right, so here we go. We're going to go from top to bottom. TSLY. Did you have trades, TSLY? Of course you freaking did. A crap load. All right, by the close, 608. Good Lord, that's a lot of money. All right, they lost that one. Why'd they lose that one? Well, simply put, 357.50 was the strike, and Tesla closed at 346. Wait. Wait, the strike price was 357.50. The stock price, what the hell? It's still 3% out of the money. Oh my God. Wait, was Tesla mooning yesterday? Did they close this at a bad time? Yeah, it looks like a bad timing move there based on the close price. So we'll move on, man. Ouch. Anyway, buy the close 7 cents. Okay, they did that. They get up. Oh, here's another one. Buy the close 618. Strike price 3% out of the money. Oof, timing is everything, right? Unfortunately, 8 cents. They won that trade. 36 cents won that trade. 17 cents. All right, they won some of them, but some of them look like bad timing because Tesla. Well, yeah, I think the market was. Tesla was red, then it was green, and then it was red, super red. So, yeah, tough timing, man. All right, anyway, we do have a TSLY file, so we will go to the TSLY file, and then we will go from there. All right, so how did Tesla do yesterday? In the end, it ended up down 3.44%. TSLY went down 2.8%, so TSLY beat Tesla. That's good, right? Now, how's their synthetic doing? They have a 320 and a 340. Tesla's at 346, so it's doing wonderful. And by the way, it expires July 18th, so we really don't, need to track it much, right? All right, so what else we got? How are their trades doing for next week? These are all for next week expiration Friday, right? They trade 1 week out. And What did they do? Well, their lowest strike is 365. It's 5.35% out of the money. Is it safe? Who the hell knows? Their highest strike price is 390. That's 12.57% out of the money. They do have buy calls, credit call spreads, butt buddies, whatever you want to call it. So they look much better than MSTY, because they are pretty damn scattered, right? Because they go from 365 all the way to 390, and they have double digit. I love double digit out of the money. That's how we roll. All right. Their IV is also higher, though, so that helps. The value of this fund is 1.1 bill. The NAV is 927. The trade price 928. Synthetic is worth 33 cents on paper. 30-day IV 61%. IV estimate based on that 44 cents. Income estimate 140. That's a 195% yield if they paid that out. So they're probably not going to pay that out. Group A declares when? Not next week, but the week after. 11 days away on June 11th. So can you dig that? Sucker! All right, NVIDIA's next, but as you know, we got to go in order. We got to go in order because we're going through all the trades. That's what we do on Saturdays. All right, we go skip through TSLY. And here's OARC. Yeah, no, I didn't. I never checked the price thing. Sorry. But buy to close, 4 cents. Buy to close, 1 penny. Buy to close, 4 cents. So yeah, OARC, whatever the hell, you won. You won. You won. And again, I can't look at the out of the money because the whole price thing is screwed up. Apply. How you doing, Apply? Apply's an OG, man. They're just an OG. All they do is, they just make money. They just chill. They're just chilling, Their underlying, obviously, pretty safe, right? Even though they're getting a little tariff here and there, they're okay. All right, buy to close. How you doing? 2 cents. They won their trade. All right, they're selling calls for next week. 0.82% out of the money. Well, that's not what you want to see. And then buy to close, 3 cents. They won that trade. Let's see this call, 202.50. 0.82% out of the money. So it looks like, yeah, overall the market IV kind of crappy. So what can you do, man? What can you do? All right, so here's NVIDIA. All right, what they do? Buy call, sell put. All right, adding new money into the fund. All right, that's fine. Now here's buy to close. They paid 6 cents. Buy to close, they paid 2 cents, 1 cent, 6 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents. Holy crap, there's a lot of trades. 3 cents, 1 penny, 4 cents, 2 cents. Oh my God, 2 cents. Look at the amount of trades of NVIDIA. This is nuts. All right, so what do you need to know, though? They won their trades, right? At the expense of probably the stock going down, but still, they won their trades. We'll take a look at their trades for next week on the other file, though. Let's get to it. Wow, that was a lot of trades. Holy crapola. All right, NVIDIA, how you doing? They went down, man. They went down. The freaking everything went down. Everything was red. The closeout on the monthly, for the month of May, of course it was red. It sucks, right? Now we do our monthly updates. We're like, all right, well, we're down. That sucks. Anyway, NVIDIA went down 3% yesterday, 3 even. NVDY went down 2.72%, so NVDY beat NVDA. NVDA. All right, so how you doing on the synthetics? They got a 120 and a 130. NVIDIA's at 135, so yeah, we doing all right. All right. They expire July 18th, just like the others, though. Okay. Let's see the trades. Can we fit them on one screen? You damn right we can. Let's go. Lowest strike price, 139, 2.86% out of the money. Yep, that's kind of low. The highest strike price is 144. That's 6.56% out of the money. All right. Is that interesting? But is that I don't know, man. Again, you never know with NVIDIA. They do have buy call, all that, the whole jazz. We'll let next week play out. We're gonna enjoy our weekend, right? We're gonna just say, okay, yeah, we won, sucker. So we'll let it be for now. The market could tank next week, right? We don't know. Someone knows, maybe. I don't know. Do you know? Anyway, the value of this fund is 1.4 bill. The NAV is 1544, trade price 1545. Synthetic on paper is worth 120. And then 30-day IV of NVIDIA, 38.7%. IV estimate based on that, 46 cents. Income estimate, make and bank, bro, $1.47, 123% yield. Group B declares when? 18 days away on June 18th. Okay, great. CONY's up next. What did you do to your cone? Nah. All right. right, Coney heads, how you doing? Let's see, though. Are you really up next, though? Or do we have to go through some others? Yes, we do. AMZ's up, actually. Let's go. Buy to close, AMZ. How you doing? 7 cents. Good job. 8 cents. Good job. All right, you selling calls for next week? Yes, I am. 207.50, 1.21% out of the money. How's this one doing? Same thing, 1.21% out of the money. All right. Again, not much wiggle room with these freaking low-ass IVs. Up next, your boy Gooey. All right, buy to close, 2 cents. That's a win, clearly. Buy to close, 5 cents. That's a win. All we do is win, no matter what. All right, what do we got here? Out of the money. Oh, my goodness. 0.44% out of the money. Well, that ain't good. What about this one? Selling calls. Here we go. Same thing, 0.44% out of the money. Well, that's suckity-doo-dah right there. That's suckity-day. Let's go to Phoebe, your boy Meta, right? Mr. Zucks, how you doing? Buy, call, sell, put, new money. Okay, fine. Buy to close, here we go. 92 cents. Is that a win? Yeah. Buy to close, 30 cents. Is that a win? Yeah. 31 cents. Yeah. Yeah, they won. They won their trades. All right. New trades for next week. Let's see how far out of the money they went. Here's 1.16% out of the money on one, and 0.77% on another, and then 1.55% on another. Man, it's yep, yeah. What can you say? All right. Anyway, Netflix won their trades. 0.35, 0.62. Yep. That's what they paid to close their trades. If they pay such a low amount when they close their trades, that means they made bank, bro. All right, here we go. New trades for next week. What are they doing? 1.06% out of the money. This one is 0.85% out of the money. Yikes. All right, here's Coney head. How you doing? 2 cents. Yeah. All right, good job. Good job, man. Good job. Buy to close, 2 cents. Yeah. Coney won. Coney won their trades. All right, cone heads, put them on. Guys, you should all have your cone heads on, all right? Especially when we talk about Coney. All right, so let's go to the Coney files, and we shall see. All right, Coin. How you doing, Coin? Yesterday, Coin went down 0.9%, and yesterday, Coney went down 0.65%. All right, so that's okay. Nice chill kind of day. You know, we're just chillaxing with our little Coney heads, right? All right, so their synthetic position is a 250 strike price, and it expires on June 20th. Coin is currently under that, though. It's at 246, but they got some time. We'll see how it goes, all right? Let it be. All right, so here's the trades for next week. Are we ready? Are we really ready for this? Y'all ready for this? All right, so they got 5 strikes. Lowest of the strikes, though, 257.50. 4.41% out of the money. Could be worse, I guess. Highest strike price, 277.50. 12.52% out of the money. Very, very nice. I like it. So they are 4, 6, 8, 11, and 12% out of the money, and they have call credit spreads. So they are ready. Are you ready? All right, so the NAV on Coney is 1.1 bill. Then the assets, well, again, there's various terms, but they say when you say the NAV, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the total, the total value of the fund, or are you talking about the price, right? So when I say the value of the fund, typically people call that AUM, AUM. Assets under management, 1.1 bill. NAV, 772. Trade price, 770. All right, now that we got that squared away, synthetic, how you doing? Yeah, that's not going to work. Let's skip over that. All right, 30-day IV of Coin, 54%. IV estimate, based on that, 32 cents. Income estimate, 7 cents. Nothing too exciting there. Group C declares when? 25 days away. Why? Well, you just got paid, Coney heads. We got to wait. Coney heads. All right, SMCY's up next, but as you know, we got to go through some other suckers before we get to the SMCY suckers. All right, let's do this. MSFO, your favorite band. How you doing? Buy to close, 280. Well, yuckity-doo-dah to that. What's this one? 281. Ew, bruh. All right, that was a 457.50 strike price, and they closed at 460. Damn, that was a freaking close race. Very unfortunate how it ended, though. So, yeah, I would say MSFO. M to the S to the F to the O lost their trades. What do the new trades look like next week? 1.55% out of the money. All right, what's this one? 1.01% out of the money. We'll see. All right, Disso, 65 cents by the close, 9 cents. 101, yikes. Let's see, that's a 112 and a 113. Yeah, I don't know, man. They could have lost it. I don't know what they got in the open of that trade, but that one looks close. And then the news trades for next week. Oh, my God, 0.85% out of the money. That's tight. And then we got another 0.85% out of the money, and then another 0.85% of the money. So their strikes are tight. All right, Zomo, how you doing? By the close, 2 cents. By the close, a penny. Zomo won their trades by a long shot, all right? They're paying pennies to close out their freaking trades. And then for next week, they got, 1.66% out of the money, brah. And then another 1.66% out of the money. JPMO, big banks. Do we like big banks? I don't know, that's up to you. By the close, 4 cents. By the close, 1 penny. By the close, 31 cents. Yeah. They won. All right, they're selling calls for next week. 1.33% out of the money on one. 1.33% out of the money on another. And here we go. A little better. 2.27% out of the money. Good job, Jipmo. All right, up next is AMD or AMDY. Buy, call, sell, put. They're adding new money to the synthetic. That's okay. All right, just one buy to close. Here we go. What'd they pay? 2 cents. They won their trade. Cha-ching. All right, selling calls for next week. 2.95% on the money for AMD. So we'll see how that all plays out. Beep. By the close, 2 cents. Yeah. By the close, 1 cent. Yeah. Hello. We won. We won. All right. Anyway, they're selling calls for next week. 2.45% of the money on both of them. All right. XYZY. By the close, 2 cents. They won. By the close, 3 cents. All right. They won their trades. What are they doing for next week? 3.64% out of the money on both of their trades from yesterday. All right. Here's Murney. Hi, Murney. How are you? By the close, 4 cents. By the close, 6 cents. Oh, wait, there's more. By the close, 2 cents. Murdy won their trades. All right. They're selling calls for next week. How far out of the money can they go? 3.54%. That's not bad. Let's see another one. 3.54, same thing. And 3.54, right? Because Murdy don't go up, right? So we're good. When I say Murdy, I mean Myrna. You never know. One day they could go boom to the moon. Everyone's going to be like, oh, I should have bought some. Anyway, what's Ybit doing? By the close, 1 penny. By the close, 1 penny. Okay, they're winning their trades. I like it. Boom. I like it like that. All right, 4.27% out of the money. Yeah, there we go. Little some, little wiggle room there. But, for Ybit, I don't know. Is that safe? With crypto, man, you never know. All right, we got up to crash, and know what we do with the crash? Nothing. All right, GDXY, here we go. By the close, 4 cents. By the close, 2 cents. By the close, 2 cents. Good job, GDXY. Stable as fund. I always said I like this fund. I just don't buy it. I don't know why. It's a gold sector, right? To me, it's a sector fund. So it's like, why not? But I don't know. I just don't. Because I do too much options myself now. But their ETF price, 1540. Again, launch price 20. So they're doing pretty well. We should dig into them a little further on tomorrow's video. Just see how they're doing. Remind me. Someone remind me. Anyway, GDXY trades. 2.67% out of the money on one. 1.68% out of the money on that one. Oh my God, it gets lower. 0.69% out of the money. Yikes. All right, ABNY, your favorite Airbnb. 5 cents by the close, 9 cents by the close. All right, they won their trades. Yep, awesome. And then they're selling calls, 1.55% out of the money on both of those. And then there's Fiat, that's the inverse, your favorites. And then Babu. Hey, Babu, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. By the close, 1 cent. By the close, 1 cent. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Then they're selling calls next week, 2.78% out of the money on both of their trades. All right. YQQQ, that's for the inverse of the Qs. Okay, we will skippity-doo-dah. TSMY, how you doing? Buy to close 3 cents. Okay, good. Buy to close 4 cents. Buy to close 4 cents. Buy to close 1 penny. Wow, a lot of buy to closes there. All right. We're getting there, guys. We're getting to the SMCY suckers. Believe it or not, they are down there, I think. All right. They're selling calls next week. 2.16% out of the money. All right. That's okay, I guess. Another one, 2.16% out of the money. And there's another one, 2.16. And the other one is 2. Everything is 2.16% out of the money. Here we are. SMCY suckers. All right. Buy, call, sell, put. Yep. Adding new money into the fund. Here we go. Buy to close. Did they win their trades? Yep. 2 cents. Buy to close. 2 cents. 2 cents. Great. Wonderful. Yeah. SMCY won their trades. All right. We're going to go cover the rest on the file, though. Loading. All right. There we go. SMCY, how you doing? Well, yeah. They went down 2.82% yesterday. SMCY, they went down 2.36%. So it's very, very unfortunate. It was a rough day. It was a red day. SMCY, current price is $40. SMCY, synthetic position, strike price of SMCY, 45. So, yeah, they got to play some catch up, but they got till June 20th. All right? All right. If they don't, whatever, right? Whatever. It's a synthetic. What can you do? You can't do nothing. But what we can do is follow these trades. Let's go. All right, we got 5 strike prices. Lowest strike, 41.50, 3.7% out of the money. Highest strike, 45.50, 13.69% out of the money. So they are pretty damn scary-doo, right? 3, 4, 6, 12, and 13% out of the money. Then they're buying calls. They got ready. They're ready. They're ready for next week. The value of the fund, 170 mil. The NAV, 1938. Trade price, 1947. Synthetic bailout, negative. 30-day IV, 69%. IV estimate based on that, $1.05. Income estimate, holla for a dollar. 564. What? 564. What? 564. What? 376% yield. What? Yeah, man. Are you ready for deck date? Are you ready for deck date next week? It's 4 days away on June 4th. But before then, guess what? I'll give you my best guesstimate. Okay. But seriously, who gives a crap what I say? They're going to give you the number, and you still have time to buy it. So my estimate is for fun and entertainment. Okay. All right, PLTY posse. Yeah, we're here. PLTY holders are like, all right, come on. That's nothing compared to what we make, bruh. You know, that's nothing. All right, so up next is PLTY. Did they win their trades? Let's see. 15 cents. Yeah. 14 cents. Yeah. 9 cents. Yeah. 3. What? 321. What in tarnation? All right, this has a 127 strike, and they closed at 131. Okay, so they got blown through on that sucker. So yeah, that's an ouchie, and that's the last one. All right, well they won they won most of them, right? They won most of them. All right, what are they doing for next week? They're selling calls. What the hell? They're in the money already? In the money already? Okay. Obviously, the timing for PLTY did not work out. We'll go look at the. We'll look at this in the fund to see how damaging this truly is. All right, Palantir, how you doing? Oh, that's why. Look at that. What the hell happened? Oh, man. Palantir went up 7.18% yesterday. Are you freaking kidding me? What the hell? PLTY went up 4.96%. Oh, my goodness. They only captured 69%. We don't like it like that. We don't. We hate it. All right, the synthetic is sitting at 115. The price of Palantir is 131. So that's good. Again, the synthetic is making money. But what happened here? Good God. Oh, my goodness. And I know the week hasn't started, but good God. All right, our lowest strike price, 128, 2.87% in the money. The next one's in the money, and the next one's in the money. The only one not in the money is a 135 strike. That's 2.44% out of the money. So, holy crap. You know, they do, luckily, have some butt buddies to help them out. some credit call spreads, some insurance plays. So what they could do is cash out those suckers on the Monday, right? They typically don't like to do that on the Monday, but we'll see, man. Maybe Palantir will come back down, right? Maybe they will. Who knows? But man, that's suckety-doo-dah, right? That's suckety-day. All right, the value of the fund, yeah, bank bro, above $500 million, 518 mil. The NAV, 65.48. The trade price, 65.28. Synthetic is worth 8.89. Holy crap, on paper. 30-day IV, 59%. IV estimate based on that, 296. All right, income estimate. I said I wasn't going to do funny voices. See, it just comes out. I can't control it. Income estimate is negative. Anyway, Group B declares in 18 days on June 18th. What will they pay? What will they pay? I don't know. But I always default to $5. $5. All right, that's PLTY. What we'll do now, we will go through the rest of the trades, and then we'll call it a day. And then we'll say, thank you for watching me. All right, how we doing, Maro? They added new synthetics. That's cool. Buy to close 3 cents. Buy to close 2 cents. Yeah, Maro winning their trades. Oh, look at this. Now, good job, Maro. At least you got some IV. 9.77% out of the money. I like that. Now, this one, okay, 6.23% out of the money. Still good. I like it. Maro's looking pretty. All right, Sivney, how you doing? Not good. Not good at all. Holy crap. You just got your ass whooped. All right, they have a strike price of $3.15. They closed at $3.27, so they covered that gap. That's for damn sure. They paid $7.39 per share. Holy crap. Well, on the new position, they made $6.14 at least. But, yeah, not enough to offset the damage on, getting their butt whooped. But we'll see how next week goes. Next week, are they ready? Well, not really. They're only 0.87% out of the money. So, Sivney, ouch. There's Winter. Yep, we'll pass you. All right. Up next is your boy, Hooey, Hooey. Or you could say, Hooey. Right? Buy to close 3 cents. Buy to close 2 cents. They won. They won their freaking trades. And they're selling calls for next week. 1.28% out of the money. Well, that's not going to cut it. All right, here we go. Ulti. Yeah, let's go through Ulti. No, sorry, I'm not doing it. But let's see what the hell. Palantir, VRT, Dell sucks, right? Dell sucks. AI, all right, Ulti. Then there's Biggie. Can't you see? LFGY, GPTY, SDTY, QDTY, RDTY, chippity-doo-dah, chippity-day. That's all the coverage. What a wonderful day. So we're done. We are done, suckers. Now, can you dig that? We're not going through the options again. I'll cover that on the Monday recap. It's month end, so I also have to do a retire now, aka options account update. I have to do a dividend car update. I don't know if I'm going to do them separately. If I do have the time, I will do it. Busy. As usual, baseball weekend. I know, wow. And always shit to do around the house. So, I'll see if I could do a separate one. Trust me, I will. I'd much rather prefer. It's better for the channel if I do a separate one too. If I add it to the end of the video, no one even freaking knows half the time. They're asking me, where's the video? Or they just don't watch it because they don't want to wait to the end of the video. So, but whatever, I'll let you guys know. Obviously you'll just see. So yeah, outside of that, that's pretty much it. Pretty smooth video, I think. Pretty good week of trades. A lot of them won their trades. Unfortunately, the overall market volatility seems to be pretty low. So the out of the monies, brah, it's just not it is what it is. We can only do what we can do. All right. We are who we thought they were. All right. Anyway, so, that being said, if you guys enjoy this content, Ali says, please hit the like button because the champ is here. All right. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down below. Again, if you want a video question, just type video question and then I will cover it. If it's reasonable, I'll cover it in the next video. Outside of that, I just want to mention, as always, this is not financial advice, guys. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So I hope you had fun. I really hope you were entertained. If not, I'll try again tomorrow. All right. Are these funds risky? Well, that's up to you and your tolerance. I don't know your freaking tolerance. All right. That's you. You know, which fund? You know, what's the risk of these funds? I get that question too. What's the risk of these funds? What's the least risky fund? I mean, everyone, it depends, man. Do you like Tesla? Do you like Nvidia? Do you like single stock exposure? Do you like ETF exposure? Do you like basket? You know, what do you like? Everyone's different. Everyone's different. You really have to find your own, you know, your own thing, you know? No one can give you an answer, you know? Just because I cover these funds, I have no idea what's best for you. Should I answer that, right? You know what's best for you, all right? You know what will help you sleep at night. Do what you believe, all right? Forget what these other schmucks say. All right, guys, like I said, we're at the end of the video. So that being said, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. So the keyword is, we'll stick to what we were doing before. And by the way, the champ is here. Champ is here. So that's the keyword. So if you made it this far in the video and you would like to prove it to myself and others, I think I bruised my chest, by the way. The keyword today, you type in the comments below, the champ is here. All right, sound good? Great. All right, let me upload this. Let's see what time it is. Let's see what kind of time I'm making. Holy crap, not good. 6:13. This is going to be late. All right, I just want to say, guys and gals, thank you for watching and have a great weekend or have a great day or have a great whatever. But for real, thank you for watching. I will talk to you all tomorrow live on the Guesstimates.